Have you ever noticed how your legs feel weaker than they used to, or how you just don't have the energy to take those long walks anymore? Maybe you chalk it up to just getting old, and that's okay, but what if it's not only about age or moving less? Science shows that muscle weakness can sneak up on us quietly, and many times, it's not the walking that's the problem but what we replace it with, or don't. This small change can make a significant difference in how you feel on a day-to-day basis. In today's video, I'm going to share 5 simple, gentle things you can do instead of walking less that will help you stay strong, balanced, and energized at 60, 70, or even 80 and beyond. So, stick with me. We're in this journey together, and these tips might just surprise you. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Gentle chair exercises and stretching. You know those mornings when getting out of bed just feels a little harder than it used to? Maybe your knees creak, or you pause for a moment before standing, bracing yourself for that first twinge in your back or hip. Maybe after breakfast, you wander into the living room, and instead of reaching for your shoes to take a brisk walk around the block, like you might have done years ago, you settle into your favorite armchair, telling yourself you'll get up and move in a bit. Hours can slip by this way, especially when the weather is cold, or your joints just don't feel up for the adventure. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. For so many Americans over 65, life naturally slows down. It's easy to believe that needing more rest or sitting more is just a part of aging, something you have to accept. But here's the thing. While it's normal for our bodies to change with age, the truth is, sitting too much and moving too little can quietly chip away at our strength, balance, and confidence. The loss is so gradual, you barely notice, until suddenly, getting up from that chair isn't just uncomfortable, it's almost daunting. But what if I told you that the chair itself, the very thing you're spending so much time in, can become your tool for taking back some of that strength, flexibility, and independence? Most people think that real exercise has to mean going to a gym, lifting weights, or at least standing up and working up a sweat. But science has shown that gentle, mindful movement, even while seated, can make a remarkable difference in how you feel, move, and live. Let's pause for a moment and rethink what it means to exercise. When we hear that word, so many of us picture something difficult or even painful. Running laps, lifting heavy objects, or sweating through a complicated fitness routine. But for seniors, especially those who are managing arthritis, old injuries, or simply the wear and tear of a life well lived, exercise can and should look very different. Research from leading medical centers like the Mayo Clinic and the CDC has confirmed regular, gentle movement, even in the comfort of your own home, can help keep your muscles and joints working, improve your circulation, and boost your mood. So, what's happening when you move your body, even a little, each day? When you flex your ankles, stretch your arms overhead, or gently rotate your spine while sitting, you're encouraging blood flow to your muscles and joints. This fresh supply of oxygen and nutrients helps keep tissues healthy and speeds up recovery for minor aches. Even more importantly, small, regular movements signal your body to maintain muscle mass, something that naturally declines with age. And here's a bonus. Simple stretches also help lubricate your joints, making movements less stiff and more comfortable over time. Let's get even more practical. Imagine you're sitting comfortably in your favorite chair, feet flat on the floor. You don't need fancy equipment, special shoes, or a gym membership. All you need is a willingness to start. Here are 3 easy chair exercises you can do right now, at your own pace. First, try the seated march. Simply lift one knee at a time, as if you're marching in place while sitting. Move slowly, and if you feel steady, swing your arms gently as you go. Aim for 10 lifts per side. This wakes up your thigh and hip muscles, gets your blood flowing, and gives your heart a gentle boost. Next, reach your arms up overhead as far as is comfortable, Then slowly bring them back down to your sides. Repeat 5 to 10 times. This stretch opens up your chest and shoulders, improving posture and helping you breathe a little deeper. Finally, scoot toward the edge of your seat, safely. And extend one leg straight in front of you, flexing your foot. Hold for a few seconds, then lower and repeat with the other leg. This stretch helps keep your hamstrings and calves flexible, so important for balance and walking. You don't need to do all of these at once. Start with what feels good and gradually add more as your body allows. You might be surprised how a little movement each day, even in a chair, can ease pain, brighten your mood, and help you feel more in control of your body. Let me share a true story, a story that might sound a bit like yours. Mary, a retired schoolteacher from Ohio, was always on her feet in her younger days. But in her late 70s, after a fall that left her feeling shaken, she found herself spending more and more time sitting. Her family noticed she seemed more withdrawn, and Mary herself admitted she felt weaker, even anxious about moving around. "I thought this was just what happens when you get old," she told me. "I thought my walking days were over." But her granddaughter, who studied physical therapy, suggested chair exercises. At first, Mary was skeptical. Could moving her legs and arms in a chair make a difference? But she decided to try. Every morning, before her coffee, she did a few simple seated movements. Some days she managed only 5 minutes. Other days, she felt stronger and went for 10. After a couple of weeks, Mary noticed she was getting up from her chair more easily. A month later, she realized she was walking from the kitchen to the garden without holding onto furniture. Best of all, she felt her confidence returning. The fear of falling didn't disappear overnight, but it shrank little by little. Mary's story isn't unique. Around the country, more and more seniors are discovering the quiet power of gentle movement. No special gym, no pressure, just small steps each day. The science backs them up. Studies show that older adults who practice chair exercises and stretching see real improvements in strength, flexibility, balance, and even emotional well-being. And because these movements are so gentle, they're safe for most people. Just check with your doctor if you have special medical concerns. You might be wondering if it's too late for you to start. Maybe you haven't exercised in years, or perhaps an injury has held you back. But the truth is, it's never too late to begin. Your body is wonderfully adaptable, no matter your age. By simply moving more, right where you are, you're sending a powerful message to yourself. I still value my health, my independence, and my ability to enjoy life's little moments. So, the next time you settle into your chair, remember, it doesn't have to be a sign of slowing down. It can be your fitness center, your starting point for a stronger, more flexible, more confident you. Permit yourself to begin, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. Invite a friend or family member to join you, or put on your favorite song as you move. Celebrate the small victories, like standing up more easily, reaching for something without pain, or just feeling a little lighter in your step. The journey to better health isn't about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. For many of us, it starts with the simple act of moving, right where we are, with what we have. Gentle chair exercises and stretching aren't just about the body. They're about reminding ourselves that life still holds movement, possibility, and joy. You deserve to feel strong and capable at any age. So go ahead, make your chair your ally, not your enemy, and take those first gentle steps back to yourself. The best time to start is now, and the smallest effort can make the biggest difference. 2. Practice Tai Chi or Qigong. There's a certain hush that falls in the early morning, before the world wakes up. Maybe you find yourself sitting by the window, a warm mug in your hands, watching the soft light spill across your lawn. It's peaceful, yet there's a bittersweet tinge, because as the years have gone by, some of the activities you once loved now seem a bit out of reach. Perhaps you used to start your mornings with a walk, or maybe you were always up and about, tending to the garden, chasing after grandkids, bustling around the house. But lately, Maybe you've noticed your body feeling a little more unsteady. Your steps are cautious, your balance feels shaky, and sometimes you wonder, will I trip over the smallest thing? Can I trust my own feet? That fear, however quiet, can be enough to make you hesitate, to move a little less, and before you know it, a once active life feels smaller. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But let me ask you something that might sound surprising. What if there's a way to restore your sense of balance, stability, and calm, without needing to move fast, lift weights, or even break a sweat? What if the secret isn't about pushing harder, but about slowing down? You may have heard of Tai Chi or Qigong, those graceful flowing movements that sometimes look almost like a slow-motion dance. Maybe you've seen people practicing it in the park or on television, and thought, that's beautiful, but is it exercise? And could it help someone my age? The answer, backed by science, might just surprise you. It's easy to think that only strenuous exercise counts for our health, but studies from major universities, including Harvard Medical School, have shown that Tai Chi and Qigong are uniquely suited for older adults. Why? Because these gentle practices aren't just about moving your arms and legs. They're about nurturing the whole body, mind, and spirit. With their slow, intentional motions, Tai Chi and Qigong improve balance, build strength, increase flexibility, and even calm the nervous system. Regular practice has been shown to reduce the risk of falls by up to 45% in seniors, a truly remarkable number. The rhythmic movements encourage better circulation, help lubricate stiff joints, and teach the body how to move as one, improving both coordination and confidence. Let's take a closer look at what makes these practices so powerful. Tai Chi, which originated in China centuries ago, was often called meditation in motion. Unlike more intense workouts, there's no need for equipment, no pounding on the joints, no pressure to keep up with anyone else. Each movement flows into the next, guided by the breath. Qigong, which shares a similar heritage, focuses on cultivating qi or life energy through coordinated breathing, simple movements, and mental focus. Both practices are gentle enough to be adapted for any ability level. Even if you need to stay seated, you can still enjoy their benefits. So, what does it feel like to practice Tai Chi or Qigong? Imagine standing in your living room or a quiet corner of your backyard. You begin by gently shifting your weight from one foot to the other, letting your arms float up and down as if moving through water. Your breathing slows. The world outside, the traffic, the worries, even the aches, fades into the background. You become aware of your posture, your breath, and the sensation of the earth beneath your feet. The movements may seem small, but they create a deep sense of relaxation and focus. Over time, these practices train your muscles and nervous system to work together, improving balance, flexibility, and, just as important, your sense of calm and well-being. If you're wondering how to begin, you'll be glad to know you don't need to join an expensive class or buy special gear. There are many ways to get started right at home. For beginners, I recommend looking up simple Tai Chi or Qigong routines on YouTube. There are plenty designed especially for seniors, with clear, step-by-step instructions. You can also check with local community centers or senior organizations, many of which offer free or low-cost classes, sometimes even outdoors in the park. You might start with just 5 minutes a day, focusing on a handful of basic movements, slowly shifting your weight, circling your arms, or gently turning your waist. The key is to move mindfully, with attention to your breath and your body's sensations, and to be patient with yourself as you learn. Let me share the story of John, a retired postal worker from Michigan, who, like so many, felt the slow creep of instability in his 70s. John was always an active man, proud of his independence. But after a couple of close calls, once nearly tripping on a rug, another time losing his balance on the porch steps, he found himself growing fearful. He started staying inside more, sitting for longer stretches, and his world became a little smaller, a little quieter. His daughter, worried for him, suggested trying a local Tai Chi class for seniors. At first, John was skeptical. "I'm not much of a dancer," he joked. "I don't know about all that waving your arms around." But with a little encouragement, he went. The first session surprised him. The pace was slow, gentle, nothing like a fitness class. The instructor talked about breathing, standing tall, and being rooted like a tree. It felt a little silly at first, but John stuck with it. Week after week, as he learned to move with intention, he noticed changes. Standing up from his chair became easier. He caught himself humming on the walk home, feeling lighter in spirit. Months later, when a neighbor's dog darted in front of him on the sidewalk, John didn't stumble. He shifted his weight smoothly, keeping his balance. That moment, simple as it was, felt like a victory. Now, John practices Tai Chi every morning, right by his living room window. It's become his way of greeting the day, a quiet ritual that grounds him, physically and mentally. He feels steadier, more confident, and in his words, just more like myself again. You don't have to be a lifelong athlete or a yoga enthusiast to benefit from Tai Chi or Qigong. All you need is a willingness to try something new, a few minutes each day, and a gentle curiosity about how your body can still move and grow. It's perfectly normal to feel awkward at first, to forget a movement, or lose your balance. But with patience and practice, you'll notice the little things. Steadier steps, calmer breathing, a clearer mind. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress, and a sense of peace that comes from moving with purpose. So, if you've ever felt discouraged by a body that doesn't move quite like it used to, or worried that exercise has to be strenuous or difficult, consider giving Tai Chi or Qigong a chance. You might discover not only greater stability and flexibility, but also a new way to enjoy your days with more confidence, presence, and joy. Remember, the journey to better health and balance doesn't have to be rushed or overwhelming. Sometimes, the best results come from the slowest, gentlest movements. This is your time, your body, your life. Take a deep breath, plant your feet, and let yourself flow, one mindful step at a time. 3. Stationary cycling. It's a chilly morning, and maybe you find yourself looking out the window, watching as the wind rustles the branches and the sidewalks stay empty. There was a time, not so long ago, when that kind of weather wouldn't stop you. You would pull on a jacket and head out for your daily walk, greeting neighbors, enjoying the fresh air, and feeling the simple satisfaction that comes with moving your body. But things change. Sometimes it's the weather, sometimes it's aches in your knees, sometimes it's just that sense of hesitation that comes with age. Maybe you found yourself walking less, not by choice but by circumstance, and with each day you move a little less, it seems a little harder to start again. This is a familiar story for so many people over 65 across America. It's easy to believe that slowing down is just part of getting older, and maybe there's a quiet acceptance that the world gets a bit smaller, steps get a little shorter, and outings get further apart. But have you ever wondered, does it have to be this way? Is walking outdoors the only path to staying active? Or is there something else, something simple, that can bring that movement, that energy, back into your daily life? Let's challenge the old idea that exercise after 60 has to mean pounding the pavement, braving the weather, or risking a fall. What if you could enjoy all the benefits of moving? Keeping your heart strong, your legs energized, and your mind bright, without ever leaving your living room. Enter stationary cycling, a gentle, effective, and surprisingly enjoyable way to stay active, no matter the weather, no matter the season, and no matter how long it's been since you last exercised. Science tells us something important. Regular movement is key to a healthy, fulfilling life as we age. But for many older adults, joint pain, balance issues, and worries about safety can turn even a short walk into an obstacle. That's where a stationary bike shines. Unlike outdoor cycling, which can bring its challenges and risks, a stationary bike is stable, easy to use, and allows you to go at your own pace. You control everything: the speed, the resistance, the length of your ride. And most importantly, You're always just a step away from the comfort and safety of home. Here's how it works. When you pedal a stationary bike, you're using some of the largest muscles in your body. Your thighs, your calves, your glutes. This gets your blood pumping, gently raises your heart rate, and helps maintain healthy circulation. At the same time, because the bike supports your weight, there's minimal impact on your knees and hips. This means you can exercise longer and more comfortably, even if arthritis or past injuries have made other activities tough. Multiple studies from respected institutions like Johns Hopkins and the American Heart Association have shown that regular cycling, even as little as 10 to 15 minutes a day, can lower your risk of heart disease, keep your joints more flexible, and even boost your mood. Starting is easier than you might think. You don't need a fancy, high-tech bike or a gym membership. There are compact, affordable stationary bikes designed specifically for seniors. Some look just like the upright bikes you remember from the gym, while others are simple, pedal exercisers you can place in front of your favorite chair. The key is comfort. Find a seat that feels good, set the resistance low to start, and don't worry about speed or distance. Just focus on moving at whatever pace feels right for you. Here's a simple routine to try. Set a goal of 5 minutes on your first day. Sit upright, feet firmly on the pedals, and begin at a gentle pace, just like taking a stroll on a flat path. Pay attention to your breathing. Let it be slow and steady. If you need to stop and rest, that's perfectly fine. Over time, aim to add another minute each week, or as your body allows. Some days will feel easier than others. Listen to yourself and take pride in every ride, no matter how short. Now, let me introduce you to Susan, a 68-year-old grandmother from Kansas, whose story might resonate with you. Susan had always loved being outdoors, but after a hip replacement, even short walks became painful. She missed the freedom of movement, the feeling of doing something good for herself. One day, her daughter brought over a small pedal exerciser and set it up in the living room. Susan was skeptical. Could this help? But decided to give it a try. The first few sessions were short and slow. She watched her favorite TV shows, pedaling gently as she relaxed. At first, her legs felt tired, but she kept going, determined to stick with it. After a couple of weeks, Susan noticed something surprising. She was standing up from her chair more easily, and her legs felt stronger. She started sleeping better, her joints felt less stiff in the morning, and her mood improved. The stationary bike became a small but powerful part of her daily routine, a way to stay active without fear, without discomfort, and without ever worrying about the weather. Susan even began challenging herself with longer rides, sometimes traveling through a whole episode of her favorite show. Her family noticed a spark in her step and a new sense of confidence in her voice. Susan's experience isn't unusual. Across the country, seniors are discovering that stationary cycling isn't just about exercise. It's about reclaiming a sense of independence and well-being. The act of moving, even when it feels small, is a way of telling yourself, I still matter. I'm still in control of my life. And because stationary cycling is so gentle on the body, it's an option that can stay with you through many stages of aging, adapting as your needs change. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. You might feel hesitant at first. Maybe you haven't exercised in a long time, or you worry about how your body will respond. That's perfectly normal. The beauty of stationary cycling is that you are always in charge. Start with what feels doable, celebrate each small victory, and remember, every pedal, every minute, is a step toward greater health. You might find that it becomes more than just a workout. It becomes a daily ritual, a time to clear your mind, listen to music, catch up on a favorite podcast, or simply enjoy a few quiet moments to yourself. If you're ready to give it a try, talk with your doctor, especially if you have any medical concerns or mobility challenges. Ask a family member or friend to help set up your bike, or visit a local store for advice on choosing the right equipment. There are many options. from upright bikes to recumbent bikes to simple pedal machines that fit under a desk or in front of a chair. Find what fits your space and your lifestyle. Most importantly, permit yourself to start small and celebrate progress, not perfection. Movement is a gift, at any age, and stationary cycling can be your safe, steady way to keep that gift alive. Remember, you don't need to ride fast or far to reap the rewards. Just the act of moving, gently and regularly, will bring benefits to your heart, your legs, your mind, and your spirit. So on those days when the world outside feels too cold or too far away, let your stationary bike bring the world to you. With every turn of the pedals, you're building strength, resilience, and the quiet joy that comes from taking care of yourself. Your journey isn't over. In many ways, it's just beginning, one gentle ride at a time. 4. Chair yoga or gentle stretching. There are days, perhaps more often than you'd like, when the world just feels heavy. Maybe you wake up with a stiff back or your neck aches as you turn to look out the window at the sun filtering through the trees. Maybe you found that, over the years, your body has started to whisper little reminders. Tight shoulders, aching knees, that sense of tension that seems to gather in your muscles even when you haven't done much at all. You tell yourself, I should stretch more. I should do some yoga. But the thought of getting down on the floor or twisting your body into those strange positions you see on TV is intimidating, even impossible. So, you sit down in your favorite chair and let the feeling pass, figuring it's just another part of getting older. If this is familiar, you're not alone. It's easy to assume that yoga or stretching is only for the young and flexible, for people who can easily touch their toes or balance on one leg. Many seniors quietly accept that tightness, discomfort, and a lack of flexibility are simply inevitable. But what if I told you that some of the most important benefits of yoga and stretching don't require a mat, special clothes, or even getting up from your chair? What if your everyday armchair could become a gateway to more freedom, comfort, and ease, right where you are? Let's take a step back and challenge the old idea that real stretching or yoga has to be difficult or uncomfortable. In truth, gentle stretching, even while sitting, can make a profound difference in how you feel, move, and carry yourself through the day. And the science agrees. Research from the National Institutes of Health and many physical therapy clinics across the country shows that simple, regular stretching improves flexibility, reduces stiffness, helps with joint health, and even boosts mood. Chair yoga, a practice specifically designed for people with limited mobility or those who want to take it easy, offers all the core benefits of traditional yoga: improved breathing, better posture, reduced tension, and a calmer mind, without ever having to get on the floor. Picture yourself in your living room, sitting comfortably in a sturdy chair. There's no need for fancy equipment or an instructor in the room. All you need is a willingness to start. Take a deep breath, let your shoulders relax, and notice how your body feels. With just a few minutes each day, you can begin to unlock parts of yourself that have felt stuck or closed off, gently bringing movement and energy back where you need it most. Let's start with something simple. Sit tall, feet flat on the floor, hands resting gently on your thighs. On an inhale, slowly raise your arms overhead, stretching gently, not forcing, just reaching as high as feels comfortable. As you exhale, lower your arms and let your shoulders drop. Repeat this a few times, matching movement to breath, and feel your rib cage expand, your chest open, your whole body lift and relax. Next, try gently twisting to the right, using your left hand to rest on your knee for support. Hold for a breath or two, then unwind and try the other side. You might feel a gentle release in your spine and waist, easing some of that stiffness that likes to settle in. Finally, try extending one leg out in front of you, flexing your foot and reaching toward it with your hand, just as far as is comfortable. This gentle stretch will wake up your hamstrings and calves, reminding your body what it's like to move with intention. You don't need to be perfect or push past your limits. The beauty of chair yoga and gentle stretching is that it's all about listening to your body, being present, and permitting yourself to move in ways that feel safe and kind. Even 5 or 10 minutes can leave you feeling looser, calmer, and more centered. Let me share the story of Robert, a retired mechanic from Pennsylvania, who never thought of himself as the yoga type. After a car accident in his late 60s left him with back pain, he found himself spending more and more time sitting. Getting up in the morning was hard. He would groan as he reached for his coffee, and by noon, he felt even stiffer than when he woke up. His daughter, concerned about his mobility, suggested chair yoga. Robert rolled his eyes at first. "Yoga's for young folks," he said. But after a particularly tough morning, he agreed to try a short video she found online, specifically designed for seniors. The first session was gentle, just some arm stretches, gentle twists, deep breaths. Robert was surprised to find himself relaxing, tension melting away from his shoulders. After a week, he noticed he could reach higher when changing a light bulb. He found it easier to turn and look behind him when backing the car out of the driveway. More than anything, he realized that his body felt more alive, less like a collection of sore parts and more like a team working together. Chair yoga became a daily ritual, sometimes just 5 minutes, sometimes longer, always at his own pace. Robert says that, for the first time in years, he feels hopeful about his body's ability to adapt and improve. Robert's story isn't unique. All across the country, seniors are discovering that gentle stretching and chair yoga are more than just exercise. They're a way of reconnecting with the simple joy of movement. Scientific studies confirm what Robert experienced. Gentle, regular stretching helps maintain muscle length, improve circulation, and can even ease anxiety and depression. Because these movements are so gentle, they're safe for almost everyone. Of course, it's always wise to check with your doctor before starting any new routine, especially if you have special medical concerns. So, how can you make chair yoga or gentle stretching a part of your life? The answer is simple. Start small and make it enjoyable. Maybe you play some soft music, invite a friend or family member to join you, or set aside a few minutes each morning before breakfast. There are countless free videos online created just for seniors, with instructors who understand your needs and guide you every step of the way. You can even ask at your local senior center. They often offer group classes, which can be a wonderful way to make new friends while taking care of your body. Remember, progress doesn't happen overnight, and there's no right way to do it. The most important thing is to be gentle with yourself. Some days will feel better than others, and that's perfectly normal. Celebrate the little victories. Reaching a bit farther, standing up a bit taller, feeling less tight at the end of the day. Every breath, every stretch, is a gift to yourself, a promise that you're not giving up on your body, no matter your age. Life after 60, 70, or 80 is full of change, and sometimes, it's easy to feel left behind by a body that doesn't move like it used to. But with chair yoga and gentle stretching, you can rediscover a sense of agency and comfort in your skin. It's not about chasing the flexibility of youth. It's about honoring where you are, listening to your body, and making movement a source of joy and relief instead of struggle or pain. So the next time you find yourself settling into your chair, remember that it's not just a place to rest. It can also be a place to begin. With a few gentle stretches, a little mindful breathing, and a willingness to try, you can reclaim a sense of freedom and ease that belongs to you at any age. Be kind to yourself, move a little every day, and know that each small step is a victory worth celebrating. The journey to greater comfort and flexibility doesn't start on a yoga mat. It starts right where you are, one gentle breath at a time. 5. Light strength training with weights or resistance bands. There comes a moment in most people's lives, maybe after a long afternoon, or while reaching for a heavy grocery bag, when you notice that simple tasks feel just a little harder than they used to. Maybe you find yourself struggling to open a jar of pickles, or feeling wobbly as you rise from your favorite recliner. Sometimes, the stairs seem steeper, the laundry basket heavier, or even standing up from the couch is enough to make you pause. You might chalk it up to just getting older, telling yourself that losing strength is a natural, unavoidable part of aging. After all, isn't it normal for muscles to fade with time? But what if that belief isn't quite right? What if you could hold on to, or even rebuild, much of your strength, stability, and independence, no matter your age? Science has a hopeful answer. Recent studies, including those from the National Institutes of Health and the American College of Sports Medicine, show that muscle loss with age, called sarcopenia, is common but not inevitable. Gentle strength training, even just a few minutes a day, can slow, stop, and sometimes reverse that decline. It doesn't require heavy weights, complicated routines, or even a gym membership. All it takes is a willingness to start, some light hand weights or resistance bands, and a bit of patience. Let's talk about what's going on. As we get older, our muscles naturally become less dense and a bit weaker, especially if we spend more time sitting. This makes everyday activities, like carrying groceries, climbing stairs, or playing with grandkids, more challenging. But muscles are amazingly adaptable. When you challenge them, even gently, they respond by growing stronger. Strength training works by creating small, controlled stress on the muscle fibers, which signals the body to repair and build them up. And you don't need to lift anything heavy. Research shows that using light weights or stretchy resistance bands is enough to trigger this response, especially for beginners or anyone coming back after a break. Picture yourself sitting comfortably in a sturdy chair, a pair of 1 or 2 pound hand weights, or even 2 cans of soup in your hands. You could also use a simple resistance band, the kind that fits easily in a drawer or suitcase. You don't need to stand, balance, or strain. Instead, you start with the basics: a gentle bicep curl, slowly lifting and lowering your arms, a shoulder press, raising the weights overhead as far as is comfortable, a row, pulling the band toward your chest to wake up your back muscles. Each movement is slow and controlled. You breathe steadily, never holding your breath or rushing. After just a few repetitions, you might feel a gentle warmth in your muscles, a sure sign they're working, adapting, growing. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. It's easy to underestimate how much difference a few minutes of strength work can make. Light strength training not only keeps muscles stronger but also supports healthy bones, improves balance, helps manage weight, and even boosts mood and brain function. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, recommends that older adults aim for 2 sessions a week, but even once a week is a great place to start. The point isn't perfection. It's consistency, patience, and listening to your body. Now, let me share a real story that might sound familiar. Linda, a 77-year-old retired nurse from Colorado, was always independent. She lived alone, loved tending her garden, and prided herself on taking care of herself. But after a minor fall in the kitchen left her with a bruised hip, Linda noticed her confidence fading. She started hesitating on the stairs, asking her neighbor for help with groceries, and spending more time sitting. Her daughter suggested trying strength exercises with resistance bands. At first, Linda was skeptical. She imagined grunting through difficult workouts, like she saw on TV. But her daughter brought over a set of colorful bands and showed her a few simple moves: seated leg extensions, gentle bicep curls, a stretch for the chest. The exercises were easy to learn. Linda could do them while watching her favorite morning news, and she didn't need to leave her living room. Within a few weeks, she noticed it was easier to get up from her chair. She felt steadier in the shower and even found herself carrying a full basket of laundry without a second thought. The bands gave her a sense of control over her own body, something she feared she'd lost. Even her doctor was impressed at her next checkup. Most importantly, Linda's confidence returned. She no longer avoided the garden, and she greeted each day with a quiet pride in what her body could still do. Linda's story isn't rare. All across the country, seniors are discovering the power of light strength training. There's no competition, no rush, no pressure to keep up with anyone else. It's about you, your goals, and your journey. It's about reclaiming everyday strength, so you can lift, reach, bend, and carry on doing the things that matter most to you. If you're ready to give it a try, here are a few tips to help you start safely. Choose the right tools. Light hand weights, 1 to 3 pounds, or resistance bands with light tension are ideal. If you don't have these, a pair of soup cans works just fine for arm exercises. Focus on the basics. Start with simple moves: bicep curls, overhead presses, gentle rows, seated leg lifts, and ankle flexes. Do 8 to 10 repetitions of each exercise, resting as needed. Stay seated or hold on for support. Many exercises can be done in a chair or standing while holding onto a sturdy table or countertop. Listen to your body. The goal is gentle effort, not pain. If something doesn't feel right, stop and try a smaller movement or ask your doctor or a physical therapist for guidance. Build gradually. Start with 1 or 2 sessions a week, 5 to 10 minutes at a time, and increase only when you feel ready. Celebrate small wins. Each time you complete a session, notice the difference in how you feel. Standing taller, moving easier, or simply feeling a little stronger inside and out. Remember, it's never too late to start. Even if you haven't exercised in years, your muscles are waiting for an invitation to wake up and support you again. And if you're nervous or unsure, ask a friend or family member to join you. Sometimes, a little company is all you need to get moving. There's something deeply empowering about regaining strength, even in small doses. It's a daily reminder that you are capable, resilient, and not defined by your age. Light strength training isn't about building big muscles or showing off at the gym. It's about independence, confidence, and the freedom to live your life on your terms. So, the next time you reach for that heavy grocery bag, stand up from your favorite chair, or open a stubborn jar, remember, you have more strength inside you than you think. Every gentle curl, every press, every stretch with a band is a step toward a stronger, steadier you. Your story isn't about losing what you once had. It's about rediscovering what's possible right now. Give yourself the gift of strength. You deserve it, today and every day. As we come to the end of our time together today, I hope you feel a little more hopeful and inspired about what's possible, no matter your age or current activity level. Getting older brings changes, but it doesn't have to mean giving up on movement, comfort, or the simple joys of daily life. Whether you choose gentle chair exercises, the calming practice of Tai Chi, a few minutes on a stationary bike, relaxing stretches in your favorite chair, or a bit of strength work with light weights or bands, each small step counts. Every bit of movement you give yourself is a gift to your body and mind, a way to keep your independence, boost your energy, and nurture your confidence. Remember, there's no perfect way to start. Progress isn't measured by how far you walk or how much you lift, but by your willingness to care for yourself, to listen to your body, and to celebrate the victory, no matter how small. Maybe you'll find a new sense of balance, notice less pain, or simply smile more as you move through your day. That's what matters most. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 gentle habits are you excited to try? Is there one you've already made part of your life, or one that feels especially meaningful? Please share your thoughts or your story in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips made just for you and the journey you're on. Here's to your health, your strength, and the joy of discovering what's still possible, one gentle step at a time. Take care, and remember, you are never alone on this path.